The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. The reason that I can say that is you have a couple of different factors occurring right now as we speak on the world stage. The dollar is being disrupted. Nations are no longer wanting to engage with the United States. But the third factor that affects each and every one of us is that there is a diaspora from the African continent that's willing and able to engage our brothers and sisters on the continent.
Shalom, Salama, Yemi, Shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you are a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahusha HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. This is a morning where we're still in a precarious situation. We're still at a time that's, let's face it, we don't know how things are looking or moving. But before I get started today, I'm going to go through, there's just a couple of different things going on. Some videos that I want to show. And then, we'll get into the discussions. I am going to also drop the link here in the chat for those that want to come on up and let their voice be heard. Because, I like to open up the channel so you all can, state your opinions and we can kind of get an understanding on some things, how we look at world events. It's no fun to just look at something in your own peripheral. You got to discuss. You got to discuss the matter. So before I do that, let me go ahead. I want to present this. This is just for some images that are floating around the internet. Here we go. I'll go. I think we got the point on that one. Oh, did I share that? My bad. Sorry, family. There we go. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Can you all see this now?
Завод. Еще одна. Еще! Ёб твою мать! Еще! Ёб твою мать! Еще!
You hear the sound before you see the explosion. You hear the shockwave before you see the explosion.
Завод. Еще одна. Еще! Ёб твою мать! Еще!
He's thinking it's over. It's like it's not over yet.
Ёб твою мать!
The guy taking the picture, he's thinking it's over and it's not over yet.
Еще!
This video, yeah, 56 seconds. 56 seconds. And I believe we saw all 6 impacts that had occurred. I'm going to show this. There's no sound to this one. Just those streaks of light coming through. That you can see in the top little layer, they have 21/11/2024, which is your November 21st. So they're showing that in the 21-second clip. This is not fast forwarded. It's not. It's not sped up. I want you to take a look at this. This is not sped up. This is literally real time because that's like snow coming down. And then that are streaks of light. Streaks of light. Looks like something in a science fiction movie. That was when the aliens arrived. You know, all I could think of was War of the Worlds, the remake with Tom Cruise. They arrived in the streaks of light. And then you see the explosions popping up, the dust clouds of the after explosions. Give this one. I think it's found somebody didn't capture the image, but they're actually able to capture the sound. So they're capturing the barrage. For them, this happened at 5:17 in the morning of the mm. Even with my headphones on, I could even feel the percussion in that one. Oh my. I would have to say, and these are kind of the after effects, homes being caught on fire, because what ends up happening is when you have the ordnance being set off, you're gonna have the after sparks on that. And those after sparks are gonna be the delayed detonations. Here we have some more imagery. Again, this is at night, so you're not gonna have great um camera footage. If you've ever had camera on your property, you can only see so much, especially, depending how they orientated this. I know a lot of folks probably orientated their cameras, on their properties to see things like that, or to try to capture, these images. But they're showing those streaks of light. And here we go on this one. You have an image. So this person sounds like they were relatively close. Let's listen. So I'm gonna give a commentary real quick on that video. Now this is Ukraine. This is Ukraine. This is the Dnipro. So what ended up happening was, to kind of give you the timeline of events. Yesterday or the day before, I would say on the 19th, the embassy was saying that they're going to shut down. They were anticipating these attacks. Russia has a lot more precision of attack. So when they're doing more precision, you will have a greater, or excuse me, not a greater, but you'll have a lower impact of sorts. And the reason you'll have a lower impact is because of different areas that could be affected by the strike, especially different embassies and consulates that are part of either NATO territory. And I'll say thank you to Canadian Prepper for pointing out that fact. But that is what the weaponeer would be thinking. The weaponeer is the one that's calibrating right? What the actual ordnance amount is. Do you need a 500 kilogram? Do you only need a 50 kilogram? What is it that you're trying to affect? That's the word, affect on the target. And what are you trying to do? Are you trying to degrade? Are you trying to destroy? Or are you just trying to simply disrupt regular operations? And there are literally different levels in terms of how you uh, quantitatively classify those strikes when you are doing a battle damage assessment. I did targeteering operations for 2 years. And if anybody had been a targeteer, you know that you're in a dark room for a couple of hours looking at images of strikes, and then you're giving assessments as to what was damaged, how it was damaged, what it does that mean for any type of operational capacity for the area or the target that was affected to be able to resume operations, or if they have to abandon their operations and then start over. So then it is, how long will that capability be off of the chessboard? That is what is happening right now. That's what the US is doing right now. They're looking at the battle damage assessment because there is always an offensive and defensive assessment. So, in the halls of government at the DoD level, all the analysts are working on the same problem, and then they are going to basically put all the assessments together, and they'll rack and stack, and they'll be on a call, a video teleconference, and they'll go into their mode of, all right, this is it. This is going to be the due out. And then by the time it gets up to the Pentagon and then gets over to the White House through the various national security agencies, then they can say, hey, okay, this is what it is. It's literally a 6-7 hour production for 2 sentences. That will be shown. But then you have about 2 or 3 pages of what the target was. You'll have the background of the target, why the target was potentially struck, what that means to operations, what that means in the future. You get the whole drill down. And that is really for the internal use if anybody wants to get more info on the targeting. Because not everybody's going to have an index. Oh, I know this target. Or I know. No. So this is why you have those types of roll-ups that go up and through. But that is the basis of a press release. You'll have the press release with the press secretary for the DoD, and then there's another topical press release with the president's office. And then what you see right here, let me replay this, family, because I know you all are kind of coming through. So you're getting different moments of impacts, but this one is so telling because the last couple of videos that I just showed, you were seeing this This is in Ukraine. And you're seeing a response of an ICBM. Now, they want to just say it's an ICBM. Okay, cool. It's an ICBM. The problem of what they're not saying, right? They're saying, but they're omitting. They're saying, but they're omitting because we can clearly see things, and we just saw some things in these videos of number one, hypersonic missile capabilities that was not able to be defended within their um, anti-missile umbrella. So whatever systems that they had to deter this, it did not work. And number two, the payload on these weapon systems was a multiple warhead payload. And I want you to see this because it wasn't just one warhead. It let we're kind of seeing some not history in the making, but this is something ominous. These aren't fragments. Let me push this back. These aren't fragments. And then you kind of hear so we would say it fragged. This is really a controlled frag, almost like a defilation of sorts. It's spread out and then it covered more surface area of the target. And that's why you would have that rhythmic percussion because it was showing the multiple detonations occurring at the same time. It wasn't just a boom. No, it was da 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 doom. So why is this important? What is the impact on this? The impact that this has is it's clearly saying to the West, don't mess with us. If you're giving your best to Ukraine, if you're sinking in funds for their best equipment, especially in Ukraine, for these anti um, ballistic missile systems, well, the only thing that you can say is they've launched ICBMs, and they don't want to again classify that even more. Why? Because if you're seeing the impacts of what a hypersonic missile can do, then people have to ask themselves, and the question: well, what does that look like for us? People in the West have to ask themselves this question: what does that look like for us? Are we able to withstand a barrage? Are we able to withstand something? Let me get back to this picture. Yeah. That looks like a scene from War of the Worlds. Because here we go. Trying to give. So one ICBM. Six. I counted 6. So we can start. In this second, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're seeing what I was seeing. Give me a 1 if you counted the same way as me. Give me a 2 if you counted something different. That is what I saw. That is what my eyes saw. My eyes did not see. Let's count it again. I got to get you all, let's get involved. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we saw how they had spread out. Because let's get back to here. I want to give you this. We got to get this analysis in. Going back to this image. Let me, because this is more close up, so it doesn't really give you that perspective. But the streaks of light is showing you how they separated. You see right here? It's wait a second. I'm trying to catch it in the same frame. There you go. All right. This is what I wanted to look at because I just want to go through here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to count this 5 and 6. 4 candlesticks, 1, and then a candlestick drop. So two more. The candlestick tops and the candlestick bottoms. 2 more. Ricardo, if you want to, you need to fix your audio and I can bring you on up. That's what it looks like to me. A cluster with the cluster. This is what I'm trying to say, family. A cluster within a cluster. That's what we're all wondering, Pixie Dust. If that happened here, what place would they hit? This is Russia firing their ICBM into Ukraine. This was the Russian response. It wasn't a yeah. It could is this devastating? Yeah, it's devastating. It would be devastating. Absolutely it would. The reality is, in my mind, yeah, I was thinking DC or New York City. It's either or. Look, why not target both at the same time? Why not? If I'm the enemy and I'm like, hey, I got that capability, I'll target both at the same time. Because here's the reality of the situation is, as we now are understanding this, as we now are seeing this, if we're not talking about the potential of what that means for the United States, then then then, then why even bother? This is why they are running scared. This is why they are trying to bring up, articles of impeachment and, saying all this. Because understand, the next thing that they're going to do in terms of Ukraine, because this hit Ukraine, Ukraine is going to respond very soon. It's just going to be a tag your rich situation. And Russia tagged Ukraine, so now Ukraine is going to do their tag back on Russia, and everything's going to escalate, and everything's going to escalate, and then they're going to say, "Hey, why don't you have this non-attritional tactical nuke? Why don't you deploy this, and let's see what they do?" Because understand how this works. Understand how they have psychologically set the stage. I'm trying to give you this understanding. A couple of months ago, Ukraine had said, well, we have the ability to create nukes within, they said, like a couple weeks. This was said, I think, late September, October timeframe. This was all being said during the hurricanes that hit Tennessee and Florida. So it was said during that time of Helene and Milton, and nobody really paid attention because folks were just worried about the hurricane and the damage from the hurricane. But the news that came out, understand that that was a psychological operation to then have us understand that potentially Ukraine has nuclear capabilities for tactical weapons to weaponize nuclear material. So that psychological operation is that, well, do we know if Ukraine has nukes or not? Honestly, nobody can answer that question. But we do know who has nuclear capability, and that's the West. So think of the calculations that the Russians are saying. Hey, we're going to tag you with these hypersonic missiles. You're not going to be able to do anything about it. And now we understand that you're going to, quote unquote, surprise, surprise, you've been able to acquire nuclear weapons, quote unquote, surprise, surprise, because you, quote unquote, made them given to you. And you are able to put them on your ATACMS missiles that the quote unquote operators, which are Western backed forces, didn't see the warhead being switched out. Oh, don't tell me what you're doing with the warhead. I'll just go for a 3-hour coffee break and then I'll be right back when we're ready to launch. Plausible deniability. Understand how this thing is escalating. It's not a fact of, oh, if it happens. No, it's literally when it happens. How many more volleys? Because honestly, I would say, this is just my opinion. I would say this, hey, I would think that this notion would be said. I wouldn't say that, but I would believe that this notion would be said. We're not going to be able to have an impact against those hypersonic missiles. So the next option, it has to be based off of a unconventional strike, which is a nuclear weapon. Even if they don't go to Moscow, even if they don't launch it and it goes, just a little over the border, that would be Ukraine saying, "Hey, look, this is what we can do. Do you want to play that game?" And then Russia would immediately say, "Yep, because this is why we put out all of our anti-nuclear mobile bunkers. Yes, indeed, we want to play the game. We knew this game was going to get here, but the question is, we're not going to play that game with you." Nope, we have some target list. Why go for the puppet? When you have to cut the strings to the puppet master. I'm just saying. I'm just giving you that analysis. So now the question is, since Ukraine is supposed to be a quote unquote sovereign country, quote unquote, what's next up in line on the nuclear rung? This is what's being decided right now. No, a nuclear weapon will be deployed, it will be employed in this conflict. The question has always been, when does it get introduced? Does it get introduced this week or does it get introduced next week? When? And to me, that's how the calculus should be looked at. Because no matter what, they want to go to the brink. They've already said this. They want this to happen. And when this does happen, how will the U.S. be able? All right, Brother Ricardo, you may have to exit the StreamYard and then fix your mic, and then I can get you added in. Sister Chantel, top of the morning.
Realized I just realized I was in. Shalom to everyone. How is everyone doing? I'm feeling so much. Can you hear my voice now?
Yes,
I'm
can
almost back. I'm almost back. Ah, so good.
Sister Chantel, have you been watching the videos?
I haven't actually. What's going on? I take some breaks and
So I wanna do this. I just want to do this run back so you can kind of get the full story. Let's have you take a look at your phone. We're gonna start with which one do I want to start with? I want to start with this one. We'll go through a collage of sorts, okay?
oh, there's multiples. Where is this?
This is Russia
Завод.
bombing Ukraine. So this is
Sure.
Ukraine. These are Russian missiles.
Еще! Fuck твою мать!
Somebody sounds very upset.
Oh, his sound effects are great.
They are.
Еще!
But that guy sounds really
I believe that is a Ukrainian curse word. I'm about 75% confident.
well, that's what I said. He sounds very upset.
So
this wasn't brought to you by Hollywood.
All right, now let me show you this because tell me in your words what do you think this is if you just joined in this video. Wait for it.
What was that?
Wait for it. What movie does this remind you of? I'll give you a hint. Tom Cruise was in the movie.
Mission Impossible? No.
An alien movie that Tom Cruise was in.
Huh? Oh, are you talking about, oh gosh, what's that film? And it's based on an old film?
Yep.
Oh gosh, what is it called? It literally, and you got, what's her name?
Worlds.
Yeah, that's it. War of the Worlds. I was remember the what's her face? The little blonde girl.
So you can see that because this is kind of a little bit of a infrared or black white. You can get more of the.
Looks like Fallen Angels, if I'm going to be honest. Do you remember? Do you remember that scene out of No? Oh gosh, I hate that film. Noah, the beginning.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
And I was alluding to that. So let me show you that because that we counted. That was 6 strikes. So that was 6 strikes. Now let me show you.
They're chucking angels.
So those are 6 strikes. Wait a second, there's 6 strikes. Now let me get this right here, because how many do you see? And I came to this image right here. I gotta come back here. Let me. Wait, give me a second. This is the frame that I just had. So you had 6 strikes with 6 different fragments or frags, or basically what did it say, like flechettes, I believe that's what they try to have.
Is there 6 or is there 7?
Look, let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Are you sure? What about the one that looks doubled?
That's light. That's a light distortion.
Okay, all right. Just making sure.
That's a light distortion. So when you're looking at this infrared, those are light distortions, but you can clearly see that these are warheads, not nuclear, but these are still warheads. These are still the actual.
If that was nuclear, you'd see more destruction.
Well, exactly. But what this was providing, what this was showing was you cannot see this coming. And on top of that is you cannot defend against this. You can't. You see what I'm saying? That's what it was showing. Because then who would be in the target hairs? I would look at it like this. This is just me personally speaking. I would look at it like this. You know, this was a warning. This wasn't a warning to Ukraine. This was a warning to the West. Yeah, all right. Look, just because it was in Ukraine doesn't mean that it can't happen to you.
Well, you know what? Actually, the West set up Ukraine as its proxy. So Russia is going to use Ukraine as its proxy.
Mhm.
It's like a reversal now. Oh, you want to use them to attack us? We're going to use them to show you what's coming.
Mm. Mm. And as I'm just going here, I put my little, my analysis cap on, because what you have now is you have the tag you're it. So Ukraine got tagged, and the psychological setup was a couple of weeks ago when Zelensky says that, that the Ukrainians can produce their own nuclear weapons. That came from out of Zelensky's mouth.
Yeah, can they?
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter if they can or not. It just came from Zelensky's mouth, because then it could be like, well, who knows? If they lied, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to say, yep, we gave them the arms? No, the West is going to be like, oh, that was the Ukrainians.
Plausible deniability. I mean, why would they?
That's what.
And you stupidly opened your mouth and said it. So now, yeah.
Did he stupidly open his mouth to say it, or was that calculated?
Whichever way you want to look at it, whether it's calculated, you calculated yourself into all of this. So in essence, yeah, kind of stupid.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we could say it's stupid. We could say it's calculating. At the end of the day, think about this. Ukraine is never coming back in terms of population. It's never.
No, what is their population like now?
So they would have so no matter what, at the end of the day, they're going to get balkanized. They'll get sucked up into either Romania, Poland, and then the rest would either go to Russia or Belarus.
Or maybe all four.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be your administrative districts. That's what it's going to be.
And all of this started because they wanted to keep a chunk that voted to go back to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Should have just let it go.
Well, you know what? But think about it. That was the perfect setup and opportunity. Hey, we want to take on this bear full time, and I mean, that's how that goes. We want to take on this bear, and as we're taking on this bear, we don't have to take on the bear with our own hands.
But that's just like them, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's not a question of when a small tactical nuke will be introduced. I believe it's going to be introduced. That's me. Russia believes that, and I'm looking at what Russia's is doing. All I'm doing is I'm analyzing Russia's move, because Russians have a lot more intel.
Oh yeah, and not only that, they don't bounce on bad information. They wait.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that the West They're so quick on the draw, and it's always wrong.
Now, I would say this. If Russia was not ready to go in terms of the reprisal, they wouldn't have struck this morning.
Agreed.
My calculus is, my assessment is, Russia was able to see that they were set up to encompass all of their population centers, because it wasn't that they hadn't done this exercise before. They've done this exercise 6, 7, 8 months ago. They were doing this exercise clear up until last November.
Mm-hmm.
They were having them in the Moscow subways, train stations. They're
And
underground stations. They were doing
it's so
this
funny, Karis.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, just to build on what you just said. And people didn't realize this because they were so focused on something else.
Yes. Yeah, that was a psychological operation. And Russia's like, who cares? We're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to get this Kazan up. We're going to get this BRICS payment up. Has anybody noticed that right now? I'm looking at it like this, and this is why I am not going to be surprised that right after the Kazan summit ended, in less than 30 days, we can see a tactical nuclear weapon. I don't bet, but I'm just saying, if I had a bet, tell me that I'm wrong. And I'm gonna be like Paul, folks. I'm sorry. I wish I was wrong. If
you and Garth do him very well.
Christ, you need to do that, folks.
He's so
on this channel. You need to get right with Yahushua HaMashiach. You need to be covered in his blood in these times that's coming. I don't care what type of preps you have. I don't care what type of bunker you build. That ain't gonna save you.
Nope.
You better be walking in his will, and you better be spending as much time as you can. I don't care if you're on the job. You better just be talking, looking like your Rain Man. Father, I thank you. Father, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I thank you, Father. I don't know, at any minute, any time, Father, I thank you. I don't care if you're walking around just looking like you're talking to yourself. That's what you better be doing right now at this hour.
I ain't trying to be committed.
What are you
Not
doing?
with these
praying.
people.
I am praying because you want to know why?
Hey, listen.
Things can drop out the sky at any minute, and I just want to make sure that if you turn into a pink dust cloud, the Most High got me because I'm pleading Psalm 91. I don't care.
Hey, listen, you didn't hear about that poor Gentile woman that got arrested over here for just saying a silent prayer. She didn't even open her mouth. She stood outside the anti-baby factory, and she just bowed her head and was saying a prayer. No words was coming out of her mouth. She wasn't even muttering. She just bowed her head and was praying inwardly, and she got arrested. Yeah, man, they're itching to put people in prison for praying. It's like, that's how demonic these people are.
Well, this is their because you have to understand, why are they doing that now? We've been saying this. There are two Elohims.
Mm-hmm.
There are two Elohims. We're seeing this. And
the mask is coming off of JC's face.
Yeah, and they can't really understand. Are you praying to the Elohim of that Bible, or are you praying to the Elohim of Rome? And that's what a lot of these folks are asked. They have to ask, are you listening to these channels where these black folks are spitting some truth, are you still ingrained in the Roman system? And they're not trying to take any chances, especially over there in Europe. We already know how crazy y'all are over there.
Hey, listen, man.
Governments are.
Don't lump me in with these people.
Sorry, I said your governments. I qualified that statement. Your
They ain't even my government.
the rulership, those that rule.
My oppressors.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be nice about it. I was trying to be.
They ain't got time for
correct.
niceties. Just tell it what it is.
We ain't got time for niceties when we
No.
have 6
no rich teas, no rich tea biscuits and tea. I'm telling you, there's no time for that. We ain't got time for that. The tea and biscuits.
Warheads that hit 6 targets, or that have 6 other warheads coming off that warhead.
I know,
6
man.
targets. That's 666. Da da da.
you know, only a people such as these would create something like that, and they always got to put their numbers in it, man. Like, you people are ruled by numbers.
I give them the 3 6s. Look, they said they're giving them the 3-6 solution, right? This is gonna make you straight. This is the 3-6 solution. This is that castor oil for you. This is that cod liver oil. This is that black seed oil. Now we gonna get you. This is that oregano oil.
I'm still coughing, you know.
Now I hear you. Look, I don't know what they done. I don't know what you're on over there, and now they got to start burning coal again. So y'all.
I know, man.
Listen, y'all don't have y'all don't get the black lung because y'all gonna have to start burning.
I told you the resources over here is coal and potatoes. I weren't playing. I mean, the sky looks it's pretty dark. The other day, oh my gosh, there was no sun, nothing. It wasn't even a bright gray. It was just gray and dark. And there was a slight flurry yesterday. Snow, I tell you, snow. If the ground was cold enough, if there was no, if it didn't rain beforehand, we would be thick in it. Actually, it's actually snowing in other northern places up in England, and there's a lot of children that aren't attending school. So there's a lot of places closed down.
And wasn't it just hot in October?
Yes,
over there?
It was.
It was just hot. And
it was.
You had literally like a 2-3 week swing in less than 20 days, and it's snowing.
Well,
and
darling, that was our summer. We have it late and we have it short. Very late. It's shifted. Every year it gets closer and closer. Every year it moves away from the actual summertime. It used to start in the end of May, June, and then it was July, and then it was August, and actually August was kind of rubbish. And then it was just September. As soon as the kids go back to school, yeah, sunshine. And then it was like, actually, no, September wasn't too bad. The middle and end of September, and then it got cold again, and then October. And now we're back where we are.
Yeah, they in Chicago there's a it's snowing in Chicago, California, Oregon, and Washington. They're going through a bomb cycle. It's a bombogenesis. It's basically a cold hurricane that they're going through.
It's a cold hurricane.
Yeah, cold hurricane. It is, and it brings rain and it brings snow. So that's hitting, and then that low, it actually strengthens a little bit more even coming on land, because then it gets a little bit of the Gulf moisture coming up, and it hits really Canada, and then it kind of clips into the northeast. I think it's as far south as like New Jersey. So that's what they're waiting on when they're talking about, like holiday travels, because next week is Thanksgiving. And so that is, that's a bad it's a bad time for travel just because that's when a lot of the snow does start to hit. And
Mm.
so yeah, so and you know, look, you have a lot of, they said that in the Northeast, it hadn't rained since like April in the Northeast. That's crazy. In the
Huh.
Northeast, it hadn't rained since April. Basically, all summer was dry. So they really didn't have any type of crops.
Wow. Oh, Team Truth. No, Timmy will not get his lump of coal. Not this Christmas. No, he's gonna have to not. He's gonna have to forego.
And then Chicago's already snowing. I think that, but that's kind of around the same time Chicago snows. They run a little later, like around Thanksgiving. Chicago will snow. So will Detroit. You know, New
Aren't
York.
you guys supposed to get another storm as well?
No, that came through. And it's nice and very very cool for Florida. So I woke up this morning and I had to put extra covers on. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, it got down into the 50s, which is a thing. I think, what is it? Six, no, not 60. It's about 12 degrees.
Oh, that's frosty for you, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
12 degrees is.
that's what we would call jumper weather, which is your
Mhm.
sweater.
Yes, I am in that. I am triple layered, looking
Bring
like
out
I'm
your
going to the
jumpers,
Arctic.
darlings, and long socks and everything else, and your trousers, your thermals. Bring them all out.
Looking like I'm going to the Arctic, and it isn't even below freezing.
No, man, I don't like the cold at all. I hate it.
Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about that in Africa because you know when all these nukes started going, everybody's gonna be changing their plans. How's Africa again?
Exactly. You know,
Uh, uh,
somehow, a certain group of people will develop a way to actually bear the sun. I'll be like, good. So now you can work in my fields.
no,
Excellent.
it's not that they haven't developed. Look, they know their Horite ancestors. They know how that Atlas Mountains goes. You better act like, you know, they're going to all of a sudden understand history. Oh, Iberian Peninsula. Oh, you know, that's what they're not just looking at. Um but they're understandably so. Europe isn't that big to begin with.
It's not. It really isn't.
It isn't. Europe is like literally the size of half of, not even half of North America. I want to say not even half of North America. And if we want to be honest, Europe is kind of the size of America as a whole.
I was going to even say it's even smaller than that. Europe, listen, Europe is a lot smaller than people think. Your maps are lying to you. It's a
Mhm.
lot smaller.
Yeah,
It's a lot smaller.
you could travel from the UK to Paris in less than 30 minutes
Yeah.
on an airplane. Less than 30 minutes. Am I correct?
Yeah. And you can also get there by Eurostar.
Yep. And what? 2 hours or an hour?
Yeah, roughly about that. I tried it, didn't like it.
Yeah. And yeah, Europe is just a peninsula of Asia. It really is. It really is. Yeah, Europe is really that small. Yes, it is.
Well, that's why they call them Caucasians. So, you know.
So it's yeah, yeah. When you travel over there, especially if you get they had something the other, like maybe a year or so ago, that there was a plane trip. They hit the jet stream just right, and it traveled from New York to the UK. Oh, I think it may have been either Paris or even the UK.
Was that when you was on the airplane?
No, because they hit like this crazy tailwind.
Okay, yeah.
And that tailwind, they got there in literally like record speed. They got there in like 4 or 5 hours.
That's quick.
Yeah. Yes. They said they got there in 4 or 5 hours. It's like said they didn't even have to hardly use their engines when they hit that jet stream.
Mm. And yes, Teen Truth, Europe shouldn't really be counted as a continent. It really isn't. As far as continents go, it's not a continent. It's just a piece of land that's extended from Asia and unhappily connected to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But they try to slice Africa away from Africa by way of the Suez Canal and then make out like it's some natural phenomena with a straight line. I'm like, nature doesn't do straight lines. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, they tried. They tried. But now they can't even hardly get their ships in the Red Sea anymore because the Houthis keep messing that up.
And that is really funny, isn't it? You cut, and it's so funny. Like that is probably the that is the epitome of you slicing up the Most High's land.
So
You carved up his land. Yeah, you carved into it and then tried to make out. You know, the funny thing is, right, a lot of the wars being fought, the skirmishes being fought in Africa is based on what they did. So say, for example, you have two tribes that are fighting over land today, which is what's usually happening. They're fighting because one wants to continue accepting and benefiting from the land that the Europeans carved up, which benefits their location. And the other one is like, no, we need to respect the natural borders of our ancestors. But obviously the former doesn't want to accept that because the former has the benefit of what the oppressors did. But the latter has had their land and their resources stripped away from them. Once upon a time, land was literally, or borders was determined by the natural borders of these countries, of these places, of these locations. And the people, yeah, they had fought, they had their skirmishes and whatever, but they weren't trying to carve up like how these people came in. They carved up and they didn't care who lived where, which is why you have so many, it's why you have people who live in Cape Town who have family in Zimbabwe or in South Africa, or why you have so many different tribes in Nigeria, or the same tribe in Nigeria that is in Ghana.
Shout out to Minister Yakoba. He covered that yesterday.
Oh, did he? I haven't
Yes,
even watched.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Look. I pray that that I get a chance to learn the language, because you know that's been preserved. It's just that it won't be given until we all come back into the land.
Mm.
That's what's going to end up happening. But let me go ahead.
Why does that look like the rocket from what's his face?
Payload.
We was just talking about it like a few weeks ago. What was it?
The payload.
Austin Powers.
What you got on over there? It looks like
it does. It don't even, if I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't even look real. It looks like somebody just shot it, like some kids shot it.
Let me show you. This is the ICBM 24 yards. This is supposedly so supposedly they said there's a RS 26, but this is the ICBM RS 24 yards. With unstoppable avant-garde warheads, top speed is 33,000. And with this calculation I just did on Google, so it's a little over 20,000 miles per hour. 20,000 miles per hour. And I'm going to show you this animation because this is what we were witnessing based off of what was just employed this this morning. Here we go.
That really does look like that Noah scene.
Mm-hmm. With the watchers coming down.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, that was done, of course, during the daylight hours. I'm going to say that there is a variation of that because they're trying to say that this is, it's a non-nuclear weapon system. And, so understand, they already are saying, look,
Is he
Kiev is going to
crying?
respond. I think that's AI. That's it.
I'm
That's
sorry.
definitely AI
Even if
right
it's AI, it's funny.
Yeah. So folks are getting the stills of what I just had shown, where Kiev will fight without U.S. support if it refuses to provide funding. So they're going to try and provide another 275 million, and folks are. They said the attack, was non-nuclear, but clearly designed to simulate a nuclear attack, and folks have their opinions. So yeah, this is the psychological operation. Let's get things together and see. This is where you have the RS-26. So you had a warhead in the family of the RS warheads with the 26, and it looks like instead of that one quote unquote payload, that one of those
You keep looking at it, don't you? Zelensky, are you crying?
so I want to show this here. So because this is the context that a lot of folks, it's still early. This was posted I think like not even 3-4 hours ago. So it says here, breaking, Russia launches non-nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile against Ukraine. In a shocking escalation, Russia has reportedly deployed a non-nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile. It's a hypersonic missile against Ukraine, targeting the city of Dnipro. This marks the first use of such a long-range missile in the ongoing war, demonstrating a significant increase in the intensity of the conflict. So the strike has caused widespread alarm, with emergency response teams deployed to the area. Reports are still emerging on the extent of the damage and any potential casualties. So I want you all to really understand the significance of what was seen, of what we just witnessed. So you saw the animation. The animation was showing, how they um utilize that from the actual technical schematics, right? Here's the technical stuff. Here's how it looked. Here's how it went, yada, yada. From the position of the messaging, you already are seeing, well, Ukraine is going to respond. Ukraine is going to respond. And people have to ask the question, what is that response going to look like? And now it's a ratcheting up. Look, to me, as I had stated, the reason why you see these, and I want to bring this on out. Give me a second. The reason why you see the nuclear shelters, the Russian mobile, those nuclear shelters, it was simply because I wanted to see if they have some video. There we go. They have some video. I want to show this. Bear with me, family. I got a lot of meat. I got a lot of meat to go through. I got a lot of onions to peel back on, some layers to peel back on this onion. Here we go.
These bomb shelters are designed to protect against radiation and natural disasters, and they're now being mass-produced in Russia, the country's Emergency Ministry Research Institute has said. The announcement, coming as US President Joe Biden's administration agreed to allow Ukraine to fire American long-range missiles deep into Russia, though the Research Institute did not link the production increase to any current crisis. The Cub-M shelter is said to defend against a variety of threats, including shrapnel, debris, and fires. It can even be deployed in Russia's vast northern permafrost, according to the State Institute. A standard unit can hold 54 people, but additional modules can be added. The war in Ukraine is entering what some officials say could be...
Okay, I'm not really caring too much about the other commentary. I just wanted you all to see that no matter how or what this is used for, understand, if you're being showed this image, if you're being shown these images of what a mobile nuclear shelter looks like, trust and believe they got thousands of these. I would argue that if they're showing this, they probably have maybe 100,000 of these shelters already produced. They may already have them deployed. And who would they deploy them for? This isn't going to be for the mass or for the general population. It's not going to be for the general population. It will be for first responders and military.
That's always how it goes, though, isn't it? And their families.
Mm-hmm. No, their families are going to be underground.
Mm.
And those shelters underground. They had already said that they were starting to stock those shelters last year.
That's what they told us. I kind of believe they were doing it a lot longer. I know, for me, I feel that when we all started seeing Putin talking from 2014, I believe that's pretty much when they started getting things ready. As he's talking, the West thinks Russia's just talking. They don't work like that. They talk while they work, and they do what they need to do. And I kind of believe that they were probably preparing from way back then.
Okay, here comes another psyop. Thank you. This goes out to Second Exodus. Thank you for this. Here comes
Why does
another
he look
psyop.
like Lurch?
Here comes another psyop. We okay. So we cannot refer to the name or
No, just call him Lurch or Squarehead. His head is a perfect square at the top. How?
The Eastern Mediterranean nation.
Ugh.
We listen. They got a warrant on SpongeBob.
He does look like SpongeBob.
SpongeBob
Square.
got a warrant.
Square and Squidgy, look at him.
Well, his cohort in crime. Let's read this so you can see because if I'm telling you this is skating on thin ice.
What?
It's just
What you're reporting?
Cold. It's just starting to get cold, and we're skating on thin ice over here. So shout out to Second Exodus. I'm just saying. If I get that white circle like last week, y'all know. YouTube, this is just for educational purposes only. Educational. You see what happened was he started questioning me. Your Honor, look, Your Honor, I was just gonna say what I'm gonna say. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Let me get into this. Oh boy, I guarantee you that what happened in Ukraine was so significant. As
dude, don't blow that picture up.
Come on, as we just showed. I can't.
No, I go on there and it's just.
This is
like
this is from a Bassem Youssef commentary.
His head is perfectly 4D. Look at it. Come on now.
You calling him a real life Roblox character? Man, shame on
Yeah, he is a Roblox cat. Oh look, yeah, my kids play that too.
Calling him a real life Roblox character.
He does look like it. He's all I've never seen a head so square except for Lurch.
You calling him a real life Lego character? Everything is awesome.
Actually, that's who he looks like. He looks like Frankenstein as well. Just put some bolts in his neck and then, a bag of flour, just puff it over his head. There you go.
He said it's Minecraft Mike. Let me stop. All right, here we go. After all this time, officially, SpongeBob is a war criminal.
So that's his official name now.
Look, you know how black folks do things. You know how we do things.
I call him Lurch.
So ICC issues a arrest warrant for Israeli premier.
You said the word.
SpongeBob. Warrant also issued for former defense minister Mr. Squidly. What are you doing, SpongeBob? They said they were trying to. They went a little overboard trying to get those Krabby Patties in. sorry. I'm sorry. I'm too ignorant.
That's right. You listen. Feel free. It's one of those days.
So
It's not even one of those days. It's going to be one of those many days going forward, and we're going to have to laugh our way through this.
Wait, but this shows the context.
There's another picture.
Let me make sure. Are you all still here? Give me a 1 or 2 if you all still here.
Oh, they're still there. I can see. Like I've got it on my television as well. I can see them. They're all there.
I gotta make sure I haven't been cut off yet.
They're there. They're there. I can see.
Sentinel. You know, the algorithm sentinel. Just making sure. Here we go.
Squiddies. All I see is 2 half pale things on the just roll it up a bit.
So this is Dr. Omar Suleiman.
Suleiman.
He pays his $7 a month to be verified. So what's really a verification? Blue check marks used to like mean something, and now it's like whatever. I got my blue check mark. That's all that counts. Okay. So it says here the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants against SpongeBob and Mr. Squidly, and watch now as their partners in crime and the U.S. government do everything to shield them from only further alienating themselves from the rest of the world. Why is that alienation coming? Because it will be a horrible display of literally white supremacy at its finest.
It really would be. You know, I was thinking about something the other day about.
I'll show you Squidward. There's Squidward. SpongeBob and Squidward right there. There you go.
It's just, they're so hideous, aren't they? Look at his face. Oh, that's not even a face a mother could love. And look at those ears. Dude, you could fly.
Well, yeah.
You don't need that feather.
If you say anything else, then we're gonna be, that label. So, it is what it is. I'm just giving you the character breakdown. So that's on out here. That is on out here. Al Jazeera is even covering it. If Al Jazeera covers it, that's the truth. I'm just saying, if Al Jazeera, oh boy.
And they put a sister on there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
This is for my black people.
They said, you know what step this is coming. Oh, you know where this is going. Look, black folks
I know where that's going. I know, because it's just a setup. Come on.
Black folks know where this is going. Okay. Here we are. Here we have it. This is breaking news, folks. It's coming to you live here, folks. The man of perdition, folks.
So where are they going to run to?
The U.S.
Yeah, that's true.
Now here will be the coldest thing about this. This will be the coldest thing about this. If the ICC and the ICJ issues warrants on Biden and the Richie guy and Keir Starmer, that would be the coldest
I hate that man.
That would be the coldest.
Oh, did you say did you say Richie or Rishi? Oh, him.
Richie. Yeah.
Rishi Sunak. I almost forgot about him. I really forgot about him.
And I believe that is, look, it's like everybody knows when the walls are closing in.
Mm-hmm.
People can see the walls are closing in, and now it's like, man, Are we gonna make it out of 2024? Are we going to make it out of 2024?
Hmm.
And I would argue, not in one piece. Definitely not in one piece.
I keep saying something might happen when everybody's tucking into their Christmas turkey.
Because to me, this is what it looks as though. It looks as though that not only is Europe getting their exports blocked by Russia, so all energy, even the U.S. can't even use Russian exports for some of its material.
Mm.
So where is it going to go? If it goes anywhere, if it tries to get into Africa, then guess what? Oh, they're going to be paying top dollar. Now, you want this? You want this? You're going to pay, but now your dollar is becoming worthless.
Your dollar is dollarless.
Yeah, the value is caving in.
Oh, I like that picture, don't we?
The value is caving in.
Oh, whoa. Go back. Back down. Not that one. Yeah, keep going. Oh. Yeah, that one. Oh, look at that picture. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, International Criminal Court. Wow, the ICC, the International Criminal Court. Now you understand. Look, we've been talking about the arrest warrant since May.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about the arrest warrant since May. Are you 6 months later? What is this meaning? What does this mean? You can't tell me that things aren't about to start looking ugly around here.
You're rude. Are you talking about I like what Miss V says as well.
Was that a pun intended? The world will never know.
But I know.
The plan is coming together excellently. Excellent.
Yes, excellent.
Excellent.
Oh, it's the rise of the Israelites.
This is what happens when you do not pay us our reparations.
Yes, laugh. You know, the Brits make the most excellent villains as well.
If you do not pay, it gets even worse. It gets even worse.
Oh gosh. The Gentiles must tune in and be like, what is going on here? Why are you laughing? Because it's funny, man. You don't see the funny side of this?
Today, Pinky?
Time to take over the world.
I have my link on up there that if you want to get into the villain laugh, you can do so.
Come join the festivities. It's such a hurrah.
Villain laugh. I don't even care. Look, you can say shalom, but I want to hear the best villain laugh. This is what happens when you don't pay reparations.
Oh, this is awesome. Oh, come on, Yasharel. Laugh.
Oh.
You have it. Look, we have the best comedians. Why? Because we know how to see the funny side of things. We have to. Our lives are so excuse me, but our lives are so crappy. If we're not laughing, come on now. So we have to laugh.
You know the funny thing is when I get on here, the Most High was like the new psychological operation. I said, okay, hallelujah. I was just talking about Ukraine, and then this pops up, and it's like, hallelujah.
Yes, his head did pop up, didn't it? Look at it right there, stuck.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, man. They're coming for Biden next. I'm telling you that. I was saying that.
He's gonna poop his pants. Oh.
No, Biden's gonna hit that 25th. Like, I'm out. He said I'm punching that button right now. Kamala, you got it.
That's why he's gone. I think even he can smell it.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
You can smell the doo-doo.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, that does. Yeah, it's like, man, do I smell Biden over there? Biden
I know that scent. Oh.
God, man,
no one wants to be around Biden. He's like death that walks and leaves a trail.
They said, ain't nothing but a gangsta party. Party. Dun, 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 dun.
Like he looks like as if somebody chopped onions near his face. Look at him.
It's gonna be the I forgot the video where Biggie was on the boat with Puff Daddy. It's gonna be them. Just cut out the faces of Biden and SpongeBob. Federal ICC agents mad because they flagrant. Tap the phone and themselves in Gazan's basement. Yeah, that line.
Hey, you know you need to be you need to start penning some stuff, even if it's just stupid stuff. But it's stuff. Like it doesn't have like the Chronicles of Yasharel in captivity, and that could be the thing. That could be the next chapter. Doesn't have to necessarily be all doom and gloom. We can have a chapter of
Are you calling it doom and gloom? I'm calling it a celebration.
Well, no, right now this is a celebration. This is a celebration. But everything else that we've been through.
Non-nuclear ICBM that was the very first thing introduced into Ukraine, and this is my world is falling apart. I'm just gonna overeat on my turkey, and hopefully I can pay for a gym membership in January.
You gotta work off that turkey, innit?
You're gonna be working off that turkey when you're gonna have
running
to learn how to sprint. How do you
say running for your life?
Yeah.
I'll be doing the backstroke and try to ride out them waves.
You have to start learning how to do those duck and covers. Brother Garth on here, Faith and Fitness. Brother Garth, come on up here. I know you're gonna look. Brother Garth's gonna come up here. I can help you with that. I can show you some exercises. Y'all better start following Faith and Fitness by Garth.
Faith and Fitness. I like that.
Brother Garth will be telling them, listen, don't panic. When you see that flash of light, just control your breathing. Understand your pulse is going to accelerate. But then as you breathe and you are getting your diaphragm ready, as the blood starts to pulsate, don't be overcome by the adrenaline. Let's just pump our arms and keep it moving. Get a nice rhythmic sensation. You may
squat and don't clench.
You may want to scream, but if you're doing that, you're not going to be able to have your airflow. So this is what we do at Faith and Fitness by Garth. We're trying to have you survive the apocalypse, one exercise at a time. I'm sorry, Garth. I shouldn't be doing your commercial. You need to be coming up here and doing your own commercial. Come on, Garth.
Garth, 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 Garth.
Here
Garth is
comes
like,
another
I
villain.
ain't come.
Before you get going, you need
Oh,
to have your laugh.
oh,
Let's get your
oh,
death laugh
darling.
on.
Oh, it's been such an age.
Hold on, let me. There's too much audio.
Garth, are you wearing a bandana, my darling?
Hello, everyone. Faith and Fitness by Garth, and yes, you could follow my channel, and we could all work together on, getting our Exodus body ready. We're gonna do some sprints to outrun the missiles, and the pew pews and the runner sprint stance. I could teach you that. Also,
you better teach them the nuclear hip thrust.
the new wall. See what I have to deal with, Sister Chantel? But
sounds crazy.
But yeah, I mean, anyone could follow my channel, Faith and Fitness. I will put it in the chat. I didn't really expect to come on here, but I am here to help and serve the kingdom, to make sure everyone is in shape and everyone is confident and everyone is living an abundant life as the Most High intended. That's the purpose.
Disasters, and they're now being mass-produced.
Sorry, Brother God.
No,
that's so rude. That's his way of telling you that it's time to look.
I'm trying to show what Brother Garth is trying to help you all do. He's trying to help you all run to these bomb shelters that's only available.
Yeah. Don't believe him, Garth.
So for the Gentiles, this is what we are trying to have you do, to be able to run to some bomb shelters that may or may not be available for you.
Just get your spray away. Come on, man. This was the time that we were preparing for this. Give them their sprays.
Well, I was thinking about, making an Exodus elixir, like, for
I like that.
Like a pre-workout, get your Exodus elixir or something.
Go.
Oh, wait, I should have trademarked that idea. On here.
You should have. You better hurry up and get that thing going. It'll have 3 shots of espresso, 2 shots of Crown Royal.
Oh God.
I do not condone using alcohol. Actually, that will circumvent your
5 hour.
I do.
With a 5-hour energy to boot.
Can we get one with some rum in it, please?
Oh gosh.
I like rum.
Oh my goodness.
Why is all the rum gone?
with the with
Jack Sparrow. Yeah.
It's a two package for the Exodus elixir. The pre-workout and the olive oil. That's
the pre-workout and the olive oil.
Yeah, because you gotta anoint that head, like, Father, just wherever my legs may travel.
Sounds dangerous. This sounds too dangerous.
I am going to, be here, but I won't be saying much. But in all seriousness, follow my channel, and I'm developing something that will be able to help people get in their right mindset to, overcome whatever, trepidations or fears they have with working out. And
I wanna just say something. Nothing to do with it. Yes, Jewel Hill, brown rum. Bring on the brown rum. Sorry, just had to.
That's okay.
You're a Caribbean boy as well. You know about the brown rum.
Yes, I do. I know about the rum.
I like the way you just hid your face after you just admitted that. Come on, you love it.
It's all right. I mean, no. I mean, rum is okay. I don't even like drinking anymore, really, honestly.
Really?
No, it's not. It doesn't agree with me.
I don't like. I like to add it to stuff.
But it's okay to drink in moderation. But I wouldn't.
Yeah, I only drink in moderation.
Okay.
In case anyone's wondering.
Just making sure, Sister Shan. No, I'm just joking.
I don't have issues. I don't have problems.
But I don't want to.
So,
I'm sorry, brother Cass. Go say something.
so you're saying that Covenant Awakenings needs to have a liquor brand.
Yeah. Covenant Awakenings liquor. Oh my gosh.
Goodness. I can't even touch
That would just be funny. Just that alone. Or the Awakenings liquor. Like, oh.
Most I'll make it say bang, bang, bang.
Distilled to send you to sleep and wake you back up again.
You got to coordinate. Oh my goodness. All right. I have Brother Gart's channel dropped in there for you all. Please check out our brother. You know, we have to make light of these times because really, you know, these are times of uncertainty. And our people have been through this before. Our folks have been through this before. Our ancestors, our families. You know, this is where we're at in this time. And it's not to we could get real depressed. I'm not trying to have anybody get depressed.
Mm.
I'm trying to have our people be able to understand this is how the Most High was always moving. This is their portion. It's not ours.
I agree.
We have been given an opportunity to deal with this with our brothers and sisters in a loving manner.
Mm.
Because in every single trial, and every single test, and every single adversity, guess what? It's the Most High that brings us through all of this.
Mm. Sorry, Karis, I just have to interject here. No, Notorious Hebrew, she makes me laugh. Resurrection rum. Resurrection. I like that.
It'll put you to sleep. But you're gonna wake up feeling like Lazarus now.
That's right. and Lion Pride, I like Ray and Nephew. That stuff. Whew.
Oh.
Yeah, that's I do like brown rum, but Ray and Nephew.
How do we get on rum? Oh,
I don't know. Who look, what is on the background? Is that like a Russian Optimus Prime? What is that?
That is their mobile shelters that the U.S. does not have.
Oh, okay. Is that what they look like?
Yeah, that's it. So what time is
looks like a transformer.
I mean, what time is this? Let's take a look at this. Because a picture is literally worth 1,000 words. Let's take a look at this. A picture is literally worth 1,000 words, right? Let's just say.
And it's in a field of flowers as well.
Bingo.
How pretty.
Why? Because we're talking about springtime. So we can assume that this is about March, April time frame, right?
Mm.
I want us to get this. I want to get this on down. Let's just say that they had been able to produce en masse, I would say about 1,000 units a day. I mean, they're just there. They're making sure that things are going. All right. Sorry. Give me just a second.
Am I the only one here?
Can you hear me?
Is this my show now?
No, I don't know. I don't know if Karis froze or
Is
something.
is it for me?
Are you
Is it
here?
me?
Can you
I'm
hear
here.
me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All
Should we
right.
take over?
I have no clue. I- this is a huge responsibility. I don't know. So many people are watching.
I
Yeah,
know.
sorry about that.
Ah,
Yeah,
he's back.
yeah.
Ugh.
No, no, that yeah, I have things going on. Pray for my dad. He is still in the hospital, still having to undergo some things. So, you know, when family calls, especially something like that. So it was just a quick update.
Yeah. Is everything all right? Do you need to go?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It was just an update with some things. We had already discussed that. But
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, just keep me in your prayers. Keep our whole
Always, brother.
all our people in your prayers.
Mm,
We are all going through some things. And that's what I was trying to say. Look, don't get discouraged as we're going through things, but we have to encourage one another. We have to.
mm,
There are days I get discouraged, but number one, the Ruach encourages you because why? Because he is going to cut into that flesh that wants to be able to say, well, you see all these problems? You see this, you see that. And then we have to remember, no, the Most High is bigger than all of our problems.
mm. I was literally telling my son that today because
Absolutely.
he's going through issues with
Mm,
two managers at work. And I said to him, one of them is an Israelite woman, the other one is a Gentile man. And, my son is like, I know he's, Ray Ray. And I said to him, well, they're going to be bad. They're going to get worse. And I told him this a few months ago. I said, be prepared for them to start becoming worse than they are.
mm-hmm.
And I say that to everyone that can hear this. They are going to get progressively worse
Yes.
because they are now witnessing their demise. And I don't mean the demise in the sense of, yeah, there's going to be casualties, but we're talking about the demise of their supremacy, the demise of their civilization. They see it and it worries them because the thing that keeps them awake at night is they know what they've done, which is why they've gone to great lengths to try to hide it. But their biggest worry is we're gonna become the minority, which really and truly they really are anyway. But we're gonna become the minority. Are they gonna treat us like how that we treated them? And as for our part, no, we won't because we are mandated not to. It is not in us to be like you. We're just not. If we were, none of you would be alive right now. If we were like you, you would all have gone already. But we're not like you. I can't talk about the rest of the world. That's your issue between you and them. What I will say is that when we leave, you have two choices. You stay and you try to maintain whatever you think you can maintain, or you come with us and yes, be servant, which means employee. I can't stress it. Servant to them means slave and vagabond. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they have in their mind. And that's not really it. I keep telling people, if you want to know what a servant is, especially in our righteousness, go to our father Abraham. Look at, what was his name? Eliezer. How was he? He was rich.
Yes, he
He
was.
didn't want for nothing. But you want to cast us like you and be like, and snub us and think they're going to do that. No, we're not going to do that to you. We're not like
Mm-hmm.
you. We are not like you. And you really, truly, you know this, but it's the hatred within you because you'd rather cut your nose off to spite your face. And a lot of you would rather go through hell than live like a prince amongst us who are kings and queens. Come on now, man. That's all it is.
Even the nobles, right? Even the nobles had
Yeah.
had wealth and status. I'm just saying. But
Yes.
this is what they're afraid of. They're afraid of, because they've given power to the wicked for so long that they really wouldn't understand what righteousness actually looks like.
They don't.
And that's not just on them. That's actually on us too, because of
Yeah.
what we have been, what we have experienced, what we have grown up with. So there's two different things going on. There's going to be, how do we get our house in order, get ourselves together, so that we don't bring about any of their wicked knowledge and understanding and mannerisms and behaviors
Amongst us.
So that's the whole thing.
I mean, but I have an affinity for our people. I do. And the reason for that is just simply to put, they have listen, I've said this. I didn't even realize that, what's her name? Geographical said the same thing until I looked at it and I was like, okay. But I also said they too have suffered a certain post-traumatic, depression, if you will, from what they have inherited. Just on another scale of it, they're starting to wake up and understand that they come out of wickedness. We have to go through what we're going through. We're understanding our, our issues. But the thing is that I have an affinity for our people because their ancestors did yes, we were going through our judgment, but as the Most High said, you forward it, you made it even worse. The things that they did to us, and I've said this, we became Frankenstein's monster. That whole story was about us.
Yes, yep.
They created a monster. We became their creation. They tore us apart and glued us back together. And now, as a result, memory, as we know, genetically speaking, we inherit. And remember what I said to you the other day, that I'm just going to say this. Sin is what we inherited, is a sexual transmitted disease. That's what sin is. Sin is a sexual transmitted disease. What they have a next version or a next variant of that disease. And it's like the wickedness that is in their bloodline it's compounded. Everybody has that. Everybody has a wickedness in their bloodline. But because they have done what they've done to the whole entire world, and what they have done to us is terrible. It's like they have that in them, and it's like this is something that they're fighting against. And it's like I said, that what really hurts especially when we woke up, was we know all the wickedness that they did to us. We know, we live it daily. We see them, pew-pewing us and everything else like that. We see that. But what made it really harsh is what Pastor Darby said, and I mentioned this the other day, is he said, you don't know how truly wicked a people are. And he said that referring to the fact that they went above and beyond to change and twist everything. I want to bring your attention, Karis, Stargate again. There's like this whole the whole franchise is literally about us. It's our story. Do you remember the Talanans? One of it was that alien. Well, they're human, but they're very advanced, and they refuse to share their technology with the humans of Earth.
Yeah.
Right. Now, there was a man who flat out said no, and he was killed. Do you remember that? It was an episode, and his friend came and tried to show them that he was. They found out that he was actually killed. Then they found out that there was some discrepancy in in the information that they have listed, like, you know, on their kind of like their internet. And he said he was like horrified, and they said, what, this is worse than them killing your friend? And he says, yes, the death of a man is one thing, but they distorted the truth. If you can't believe, you can't trust if your leaders are lying, then you can't trust the system. And this is why it was so terrifying for him to know that his leaders twisted and changed the history and the information that was listed, because it's like, it tells you that they are willing to do everything and anything if they will change that history, if they are willing to change if they're changing truth, then you can't believe anything. The death of somebody is bad, but you can't trust nothing they say. And I found that so interesting. And when I heard Pastor Darby say that, I immediately thought about that episode. And it's just, it's like they tell on themselves in their shows just how much nobody can trust them.
Well, and now here is a situation, you know, that's here this morning with this ICC, the arrest warrant actually being issued. We had talked about the ICC. We had talked about that there was an arrest warrant that was, you know, still on the desk. Folks were still like trying to figure out, did it get issued or not? Was it here or there? And understand, this isn't about necessarily, it is about the arrest warrant. It is. But what this is, it is a challenge to the system of white supremacy. And at the end of the day, white supremacy is just vanity. It's vanity. It's a challenge to their pride. And the challenge is, are people not willing to engage in that game of pride? Are people not willing to engage in their game of, well, trust me? Or this is an indictment of, now they're not just done with them, but they're really done with the West and the concept of the West superiority complex. Because that's what vanity does. It shows and it says, I can do whatever I can and I'll never suffer a defeat. I'll never suffer loss. This is literally what you see Jeremiah 50 and 51. This is literally what you see in Revelation 17 and 18. Babylon will not suffer the loss of her children. That's what she believes. The problem is Babylon is losing. And when the word literally says that it's gone in an hour, that things are literally topsy-turvy in an hour, well, why do you think that hour comes? Oh, you just had that happen. Okay, no big deal. You just had this happen. Whatever. I'm still looking at my stocks. I'm still looking at my bonds. I'm still looking at crypto. I'm still looking, because why? Because the game was always going to be, look at the wealth that you have and not look at anything else. That's what they're seeing. Oh, well, folks are losing their jobs. Don't worry about it. Look at your portfolio. Folks can't even eat. Don't worry about it. Look at your portfolio. Folks' cars are getting repoed. Don't worry about it. Look at the portfolio. Folks are going homeless. Don't worry about it. Look at your portfolio. Until it happens to them. Because why? Because the system has been set up that don't worry about the system collapsing, worry about the distraction that you have, because this is the new psychological operation. Don't worry that the sink is shipping, or the ship is sinking. Don't worry about that. Don't worry if you have water coming up to your ankles. Well, it's just at my ankles. Don't worry. Well, now it's at my knees. Don't worry about it. Well, now it's at my hips. Oh, yeah, that's not it. You're okay. Well, now it's at my chest. Oh, well, hey. Well, now it's at my throat, my neck. I'm breathing in water. I'm taking in water. And I can't go anywhere because I'm shackled down to this debt and this debt system that said everything was good in this debt system. And then I realized that this debt system has nothing attached to it because everybody thinks that somebody's going to help them. That's what they truly believe. Oh, well, Trump gets in, he's going to get a stimulus, get some checks. This economy's going to start going. Look, the question now is that they have to seriously ask themselves, what happens if Trump doesn't get in? This is now the question that they're literally having to ask themselves. What are they going to do? What are they going to do about it? Because they're going to do something about it. You already know that that's going to be the case. Don't think that they haven't organized. Don't think that the Democrats haven't organized. All right, we need to organize because we're never going to give up this power. Because, see, we're going into war. And if we're in war, then that doesn't make sense. If we give up power doing war, that's not a peaceful transition. And think about what you had in World War II. And think about all this stuff. And do you get this? And then you have the other argument is, no, we need to have our person here in the office so then they can bring some common sense so we can stop whatever this thing is going on. So now the house is falling. The house is falling. And the implosion is happening on themselves at this time. ICC was only supposed to be made for war criminals, quote unquote criminals. That represented undesirable nations. What are those nations? Non-Western nations, those ones. But you talk about a blow to their ego. Today it's a blow to their ego. You got a blow to their ego with that weapon. That's a blow to their ego. Because many cameras was capturing that thing full tilt. And they were posting those videos. We've witnessed that. We were literally looking at that. And then you have this information come up, and now it's, they've dealt with Lawfare. We went through a period of Lawfare. We did. Don't think that we just came up out of the plantations and everything was good. No. Because the folks that worked together were able to make it together, relatively speaking. And when they made it together, they were telling people, hey, we got this, this, and this. And when folks were trying to get to those towns and get to those areas, they would then be caught and imprisoned because they would then be called vagrants. And then you would have peonage laws. And that was the setup of what we see right now. Because trust and believe, understand, this is a lot bigger than just the president of the United States. This is now a setup on and an indictment on the criminal justice system. There is a bigger layer to this with this new psychological operation, and it's being played not on us, it's being played on them. So if they can go after them, then what can they go after? Can they go after our leadership? Shoot, can they go after even our own criminal justice system? And I would say yes, yes, and yes, absolutely. Here's the thing: we don't really think outside the box on these things, and I get it. That does make sense, because if you have this, this, and this, then how would they have to administrate it? Well, you have the ICC. The ICC would have a UN arm. The UN arm would have to have a Human Rights Council. The Human Rights Council would have to bring in a UN Security Council that would then be able to review all these court cases.
I agree with you. And I think to myself, sorry, but I think to myself, we need to also understand what prophecy would really look like in this. Like, I was thinking to myself, the whole point, you know, when you saw how the Gentiles, how the Republicans were going crazy, when they started to understand the tariff system. And I thought to myself, this isn't just going to affect America, this affects everyone. In fact, this goes all the way right to China. This affects Mexico, this affects everyone. Everyone is going to feel it because of what Donald Trump wants to do. And sometimes it's like, I started thinking, what if this is the linchpin? What if this is the linchpin for all those nations to come up against Babylon? Like, we think it's about one thing, but it's always, everything is always about resources and their money.
Yes. Yeah. How did they come back and they reclaim their money? And they reclaim their money based off of what? Based off of the argument, because here's the thing that they've always kept the open wound on. It's always been us.
I was going to say, they'll go back to the oldest system of gaining money, the very system that you set up. Your whole wealth, we're going to do to you what was done to them. And I don't understand, but that's scripture. I don't know how some people can't see that.
But I'm going to give you the contemporary argument. The contemporary argument, the UN already laid that out. What, back in September, right? Equity, fairness, human rights, all that other good stuff. They were setting up the psychological operation. They were setting it up. Hey, well, we have to do this, we have to do that, because we have to think about fairness and equality, and this is part of fairness and equality. And now we have a constitutional crisis brewing in the United States. Now we have a nation that is getting ready to go to war amongst itself. I don't think, look, they're going to go to the cusp. I think they'll fight for a little bit, and it really won't be the fight that people think that they're going to have with the U.S. I think the U.S. will probably get to that point, and then they have to break away. And they're going to leave Europe holding the bag.
I agree.
I believe that's it. Look, you can come up here and let me know if I'm wrong, but I believe they're going to leave Europe holding the bag, because Europe's going to be like, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then America, where you at, America? Man, these folks are fighting each other. What is going on with that? And that's why I look at it like this, because understand, you're going to have these skirmishes. The skirmishes are coming. Let's just well, let's just understand how that's going to go, because the closer and closer that they get towards, the selection time, look, people are going to get mad because they can't even afford Christmas this year. Let's just be honest. Nobody can afford Christmas this year. And then with that going on, and literally Target sales have Target's a store here in the United States that's a consumer store, um like a Walmart, like your
We know what Target is.
okay. So yeah, I'm trying to explain to my international folks. Their shares plummeted because why? Because they couldn't sustain the inflation. They weren't able to sustain the inflation. So guess what? So they had to literally pass it on to the consumers, and it's like, I can't afford to shop at Target anymore. So now they're getting ready to close stores. Same with AutoZones. AutoZones, people can't afford to drive anymore. So now understand, there is literally an economic linchpin that's getting ready to go. And they're going all at the same time, because if you are able to destabilize your population, then you're able to create an agenda, because a national agenda to go to and do an unpopular war, even if Congress says you're not able to do a war based off of national security. Do you understand? Even if let me put this into context. When Ukraine launches that tactical nuclear weapon and it makes contact on Russian soil, the U.S. automatically has to go into an emergency management operation. Executive orders will be triggered like that overnight. I don't care what Congress says. Go and look at how many active emergency executive orders are on the books right now. Over 30. It doesn't matter what they want to do with this, dog and pony show. The government gets shut down overnight, and it's a military occupation like that. But in order to get you there, guess what? Well, you have to have the National Guard activated for these elections. Well, you have to have the military on standby to help deport people. Are you sure it's to deport people, or is it to keep people from fleeing? That's the question. This is what is happening right now.
I agree with you. It was always done. Like the first time when Donald Trump was running and he was talking about building the wall. This was before I woke up. I was still a Christian. And the first thing that came into my mind was, oh, they're going to try and keep you in. They want to lock you in. That's all.
Yep.
I don't care what anybody else was saying. There were so many people that say, no, that's not what it is. It's to keep the Mexicans out and the blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it isn't. It really isn't. It really isn't. Because it just didn't fit. There's something about it didn't fit. It didn't fit.
The narrative was not demonstrating what was going on in real life, and people could see. We just couldn't see at that time. We couldn't see at that. Now you can see. Oh, I need to get up and out of here. I need to try to find a better way, a better life, either in Canada, it's too cold, or let me try and press my luck in Mexico or somewhere. But I do believe, in my opinion, I do believe this is just what I look at. You're now going to have lawfare done on the United States. Oh my goodness. Talk about a taste of its own medicine. Ooh. Talk about a taste of its own medicine. Oh my goodness. Well, we got to make sure that we're securing this. We got to make sure we're securing that. We got to make sure that, you know, the tables are turning. I'm trying to explain this thing to you all, family. The tables are turning. Y'all, you all need energy because y'all ain't getting it from Russia. All right. Before you can even get a drop of our oil, before you can even get a gram of our resources, we need to have all of our brothers and sisters of African American descent, released immediately and placed within our custody.
And not only
From the prisons have them released from the prisons immediately to be
and not
placed
only that, Karis.
in our cognizance. Yeah, go ahead.
And not only that, they're also going to push for their give us back our stuff. They're not going to want to do that, and as a result,
no, you're jumping the gun, Sister Chantel. You're jumping the
I
gun.
know, but I want to get.
No, you have to do this in stages. That's the first stage. You want this? It's quid pro quo. Because why? Because now they're learning how to be in the driver's seat.
That's true.
They're learning how to work in the driver's seat. Trust me. I mean, I've been working with them for a little bit, for a little while.
I'm not saying that they're going to forget us, and that's not what I'm saying.
It's not about forgetting us. No. Do you have to understand? Yeah, I'm sorry, family. This is stuff that I look at in the background, and I'm just sharing with all 378 of you all, now 381 of you all. Because at this point in time, look, they don't have any type of power. They don't have a political power. They don't have a political base because they've lost that in Africa. Yeah, Sister Stacy, this is really your art of diplomacy right here. Quid pro quo. We're empowered. We have the resources. If you even want to touch any of the resources, you ain't coming on in and you're not doing any coups. Those days are gone. You're not going to come in. You're not going to be able to destabilize anything. Those days are gone. I don't care how much
sorry, Eric Prince.
ciphers the French the franc or any other Eurocentric monetary derivative that you want to pay. It's not working. And you want to do that? I'm gonna have a fair deal with you all. While the UN is investigating this, while the UN is making a case, because trust and believe that is now the case that's going to be made for us. You have to understand what's happening in the background. People are saying, "Oh, you'll never see an arrest warrant." Here you go. And you don't think that they'll never see a warrant coming from the African Union? You got to be out your mind. That is coming. As a simple warrant, it has been demonstrated that you have these historical X, Y, and Z's, this incarceration rate affecting African Americans, and we request a stop to those hostilities right now. I told you, I believe, this is my personal opinion, I believe that the U.S. is being embargoed. I believe it. We're going through an economic embargo. We're just now on the other side of it. I believe it.
Well, it is a curse. Economics was a curse against us. All these curses that were on you are going to be on them.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yeah.
And I say hallelujah to that.
Yeah. Because what would they do? How would they do? Oh, well, we just can't release all of them. Some of them have, legitimate crimes and everything else. Okay. We're putting
Let
them
us deal with it.
in these areas that will be controlled by the UN until we can properly process them. And if you're so afraid of them, then guess what? We will take responsibility for them in our own countries. See, y'all have to understand the chess game that's being played here.
Exactly.
You all have to truly understand the chess game that's being played here. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? Do you want to get poorer, or do you want to have this trade? Because the UN will come, and them Europeans, they come for blood, even on their own people. I don't care if they're Americans or not.
Well, it's what they've done. It's what they've always done. It's no biggie. It's not like as if they only came together against us. That was their unity. That is it. It's surface level. They have no real unity. We all know that. And they've been shoving and ramming their history and the greatness of their history down our throats forever. We're now actually starting, okay, you know what? We're actually going to look at your history. Don't talk about unity when you people have been killing each other for hundreds of years. There's been more wars in your little so-called continent than the whole of the world combined. So
I'm just giving you all an analysis. Because it's always funny how we see things come into pass based on literally what the word has stated. It's just now when we're starting to see this in action, people just are deer in the headlights. And it's like, man, we can see this. Because the moment that we can start seeing it, the moment we can start talking about it, and the moment that we start to put our mouths to what? To what the Most High is doing, and then we are agreeing with what he's doing, and therefore our agreement is the spark, because they're listening to our agreement, because it's resonating in our spirits, and guess what? Their power and their authority is becoming diminished. Because even their own people will start to say, they have a point. I'm coming into agreement with their point. And therefore, what is it? Satan can't stand against, if Satan stands against Satan, guess what? It all falls apart. It all falls apart. Well, you want to know what? Yeah, that's right. Because we had dealt with these black folks wickedly, even way before the Palestinian thing. So I think they have a point. No, now it's, yeah, we've had a point and we've been had a point, but now you feel the heat on you. So now you got to agree with something. Oh, trust me, they are good at avoiding the fire. They know how to duck and cover and take sides real quick. I was there. I was saying something. Because we see the inevitability of what is happening, because all we're doing is we're just showing how scripture is coming to pass. That's it. That's not my word. I that's not Sister Chantel's word. That's not anybody's word except for the Most High's word. That's it. It was always the checkmate. It was always the chess. It was always the moves that were 15, 20, 30 moves ahead, and they could never distinguish it. And we were saying, look, we know it's us. We broke the game. And all they kept doing was, well, they were falling into their own trap. To avoid their own traps, they fell into their own trap. I think we covered that in Obadiah yesterday. The wise men of Esau Edom, tabernacles of Edom, tabernacles of Teman, all their wise men have been trapped because they could never address their systematic failings. And that was to do and deal righteously with us. The lack of empathy in dealing righteously with us literally created their own downfall. I'm not the one that can issue ICC arrest warrants. I'm just saying, but I can comment on it. And I will comment on it. That's not my problem. That's their problem. I'll comment on it, but that's literally their problem. I'm not going to bat with any type of demonstration. I'm not commenting on for or against. I don't care. That's not me. I'm working on what we're doing with our brothers and sisters, both here in the United States and out there on the continent. That's it. Because I'm sorry, I literally have been looking at this day right now with social justice. Because social justice is going to take more than just, well, we're going to go to the United States and the Supreme Court, and we're going to be doing another John Marshall and Thurgood Marshall and Clarence. No. You are never going to get the help within a system that is designed to oppress you. Never. What is the incentive? There's no incentive. But now you're starting to see the incentive is if you don't deal wisely, if you aren't trying to deal righteously, you will starve and you will suffer in your starvation. I have been saying this for a couple of months now. Lo and behold, here it is. They needed the African continent. They needed the African continent. They always needed the African continent. I've been saying this. It's not that they don't want to let us go. No. They want us up in those prisons. Yep, that's it. But now they're not going to have a choice. That was it. That was it. This is the first domino falling. It's getting too hot for us here in Europe, so we got to offer you up as a sacrifice. And then the evangelicals, especially this weekend, oh, no, we got to pray for, oh, my goodness, they got to. And then there's going to be black folks up in those churches and talking about, for what? For what? Do you see all that wickedness that they're doing? For what? I can't get down like that. If you're talking about the scriptures and you're not following the scriptures, then who are you? Uncomfortability breeds understanding. You learn more when you become uncomfortable. You look at things in a much more discerning eye when you become uncomfortable. And the Most High has made this thing so uncomfortable over the last 2.5 weeks. It has been truly a pleasure to witness. I'm sorry, it is. It is. It's been a pleasure for me. I have been thoroughly enjoying myself on this one. I'm I don't know what to say. Sister Chantel, you want to say something? I don't know what to say.
Give me a moment. I'm gonna be changing my phone, so just give me a moment, yeah?
Yeah, no worries, no worries. But yeah. So when people would say, "Oh, that would never happen. Africa would never happen. This would never happen." I'm sorry. We see it happening. See, they had us so wrapped up in these internal matters. I've been saying, look at the whole picture. Look at the whole picture. You're looking at Kamala and that nightmare of what that was. And now here it is. I'm sorry, family, if y'all don't realize how consequential what we're seeing is. Because now you understand, now things have to ratchet up. Oh, they just got the ICC in on here? Man, give them that sunshine. Give them that Ray Ray. Mr. President Biden, are you sure it is okay? Well, you know, Mr. President Biden, I need my money first. I need my $275 million, Mr. President Biden. I need that first. And then bombs away, as they say in English. Ha ha ha. We were literally just kind of game playing it, giving a little bit of a strategy session. And then this happens right now today on this broadcast in real life. I'm like, the Most High is funny. The Most High is truly amazing. The Most High is truly amazing. You can't make it up. I'm sorry. You can't make this up. No, it's that's what I personally believe. That's what I personally believe. Look, if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. Hallelujah. But that's what I personally believe. But when it does happen, I'm going to tell you when that does happen. What they'll do is they're going to pretty up the bow and they're going to pretty up the picture. And they're going to say, as the president's one of the last acts in the White House is that, social justice and social reform. And because the Democrats did not listen to the African Americans, this is what's going to happen. This is an executive order, and he's asking the states to comply. And by the way, there's a UN oversight or a UN presence to this. And these states are going to lose their minds. And it's going to happen in 14 days. What? They will literally lose their minds. And those releases need to be done in 3 days, 72 hours. No, for real, 72 hours. They would literally, we can't do. They'll have a call with the governors. If we don't get them on out there, the only ones that's going to be good is Texas and California with their energy. Maybe you, Florida. Everybody else is messed up. I would say more than likely you would see places like Chicago, New York, DC, Boston, all the northern states, there would be a release very quickly.
Of our people?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It would be more slowed down in the South just because, but in the northern states because of the amount of cold that's getting ready to happen.
Yeah. Pharaoh doesn't want to let go of it, of its captives.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
But they will.
You got to remember this is going to be a this is going to continue to be a continued destruction of their pride.
It really
It
is.
is. It
I
is.
heard you talking about how you were enjoying it. And I'm like, of course you are, my darling. Who isn't?
Well, let me rephrase that. I'm enjoying that we get a chance to see the Most High move in His power.
Now, Karis, you don't have to be coy.
I'm enjoying how the Most High's word is coming to power. It's coming to fruition.
Say it 3 times and it might be believable. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just the worst.
No, because it is one of those things. It's not humiliation. That was a Freudian slip. Not humiliation.
It is humiliation for them.
It's a humbling experience because
Humbling is humility for
if
them.
you if you are able to be humble, then you're able to be corrected, right? That's humble. For them, it's I'm being humiliated,
Yes, but
right?
we know that they won't be corrected. That was the whole point, though.
Oh, I know. But we always try to look at the positive. Maybe there will be some that that get the message that
Poppycock. I'm
I'm
sorry, it's
just
not a
trying to be
curse word. It's not a
positive.
curse word.
I'm just trying to be positive. Look, I'm gonna always try to err on the positive. Hallelujah. But
Well,
yeah, they
fine.
have.
Well, I will be the other side of it. I will err on the side of reality. And we all know what these people are like. Oh dear, we do know what they're like. They will not change as a
No,
nation.
no, but they'll cover. They'll do a tremendous cover up. It'll be like what?
Of course they will.
It would be a jaw dropping experience for Black folks. What? So because think about this. Think about this. If you were to hear that said, not just today, but the next 3 or 4 days. Let's say they said that on Friday, like late Friday afternoon at like 4:59. They have that when the government shuts down at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then at noon they release that. Starting on Monday. On this weekend, they'll have shelters and stuff on up, or they'll start processing folks. Here. Wait. What's going on here? they'll be up in jail. What's going on here? You're getting released. Imagine the shock to people's systems.
It will be like bigger than what's happening in New York right now with the migrants. And apparently, according to them, that's why they voted.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the migrants. Oh my God. Would somebody think of the children?
I mean, because think about that. Think about what that would do to the psyche of this nation. Yeah, we had an injustice. It was injustice in this system. And, in order for us to be on this stage, I would say that they would probably preemptively do that just so when it does come through, because I firmly believe, even Lindsey Graham had said this, if the ICC is doing that to them folks over there that Eastern Mediterranean nation, then best believe that that's what's going to take place here in the United States and in
Of
the
course.
UK.
Of course.
Yeah, and in the
Say it
UK.
again, say it again, say it again. Say
So
it again.
so now think about this. Now think about this. Here's another dimension on there. If that were to occur, what do you think that looks like for us that haven't been in that predicament, that haven't been in that situation? What do you think that would look like for, because we understand there will be a retaliatory response. That's why I say the UN would be up in here, because that's how that retaliatory response will go.
It would be, because there would be a blaming, and they're just going to blame the easiest target, the one that they've always blamed. And I wanted to say, when all those
It's not just the easiest target, but it's also what? It's a vulnerable population group. And
yes,
therefore you would have an international body, an international presence ensuring that the safety of peoples of African descent
yes.
are taken care of. And you don't think that they would do it? They're losing literally their shirt here in the United States. Their
What about our
economy
rights?
is garbage.
I know.
It's garbage. They know that.
all those prisoners that will be released, Karens will have a meltdown. They will be clutching their pearl necklaces, completely going insane. Like, oh my gosh, if these people were losing their minds over the migrants that are coming to get them, good grief. Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Can you really imagine how these poor, vulnerable women are going to be?
I'm just saying. I'm just theorizing here. I like to theorize on this channel because usually when we have these thought exercises, it's really funny to see how they then shake out a few.
Play out.
How
Oh
they
my
play
gosh.
out. And it's funny, isn't it? It's like,
And we're like, did we just talk about this?
talked about this. We just said this. Well, surprise,
It's funny
surprise.
seeing it come.
It's like that Kermit meme with the iced tea. I was just saying.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And people don't think that couldn't be a case. Now you're seeing that that's more plausible. I'm sorry. You're seeing it's more plausible. You're seeing that's coming down the pipe. It's not that, well, it's going to be a question of when.
Everything that we've talked about has been a question of when. It's never really been if. If you have the scriptures as your guide, it's always going to be a question of when, never if. I don't operate with if when I quote scriptures. It's always when. When.
Yeah, this has been something. Understand that's why they don't like to see President Traore, Burkina Faso. They don't like to see how Africa is being empowered to control their resources. I would encourage you all, if you haven't bought a copy of The Rise of Africa, The Continent, the Diaspora, and BRICS. If you all haven't gotten yourself a copy, I would encourage you all to do that. And yeah, and even Botswana is kicking out the U.S. too. A lot of folks are doing it. A lot of folks are, if they're not able to really kick them out, they're able to limit their operational presence. And that is the decline of influence. We didn't do that to them. They did it to themselves. And they're going to have even more of a diminished capacity because you know that they're trying to formulate a plan right now as we speak, as we have been talking. Right now as we speak, they're going to try to formulate a plan from the White House to try to provide cover to that Eastern Mediterranean nation. And all that's going to do is destroy their credibility even more. It's going to leave it in tatters. We would have healed Babylon, but she refused to be healed.
It also shows that they are a lawless nation. Even though they've been standing up preaching about we are going to be ruling through, what did Bush say? Something about law or whatever. I can't remember. I've forgotten everything that man said. I'm talking about Bush Senior. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've all seen those videos.
Yeah, Herbert Walker, HW. Yep. But again, this is the most vulnerable time that the U.S. has been in. And you're not telling me that they aren't. Look, you have to break people down in order for them to be ready to negotiate. My question
You're right. This is the most vulnerable time. Sorry, Karis, but like some people would say, "Oh, well, you know, since the civil war." Sorry, like no, because even during the Civil War, you didn't have everything else that was going on. There's a civil war going on in within America, but also you've got everything else going on around them.
It's going to be very truncated, which means it's going to be very shortened. It's going to be very, when I said a couple of weeks ago, you have your political unrest, then you'll have your civil, and then you'll have an insurgency, and then it goes to basically your full on declarations of civil war, internal fighting to what? To control resources. It's a resource control. Imagine this, and I'm gonna leave this point here, but imagine this, that all that does happen. And you realize that you'll have states seceding, like Texas, like California, like Florida. If that decision gets passed down, and I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when that decision gets passed down. When that decision gets passed down. Because here's the funny thing about all this stuff. Those diplomatic cables, they're classified. I would not be surprised if you had a couple of African nations. These are our terms. Take it, or you're going to starve. Well, you're going to starve at your own people. Look, you've been starving them out since the beginning. You've been starving out our brothers and sisters since you captured them there. They're
Exactly.
going to survive. The Most High's got them. They're going to survive. Here are our demands. I would not be surprised, family. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, why not when you're holding all the cards? And that's why I said that's why they're freaking out, because they can see that their power, their supremacy is now shifting. They can no longer boast.
So I want to take this back to here. So this new psychological operation, okay, it's not an operation on us. It's not an operation on us. It's now an operation on them. Wow. Hallelujah.
Well, Karis, I will say that anything that's post 2020 is no longer an operation on us. Every time they try, I think 2020 was their last ditch effort to actually do something. And as a result, the Most High showed them, you're not going to do what you think you're going to do to my people. Because what happened? The majority of them, it was them, not our people. Africa was a massive demonstration of that. And the first thing they kept saying was, we need to make sure that we get, lollipops in arms, especially for you guys, it was black and POC. For us, it's called BAME over here. I'm not going to go into what it means, but BAME, black and Asian and whatever. But that's what it was. And then talking about, and in Africa, because they're going to be struggling and so on and so forth. But it really wasn't. It was Europe and Asia.
Wait. Let's understand this, because remember, it was about 4 years ago, especially this time, they were literally trying to pronounce curses on Africa. I don't remember. I don't know if you all remember that. They were literally trying to pronounce.
I do.
They were literally trying to say, look, Africa is going to go through this. Africa is going to do that. Africa's going to, and we were literally coming through, and we were praying all those curses against them, that whatever they were speaking and trying to have projected on us would be rebuked in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, and that it would all come back on them. So understandably now, Buddy W, Beauty with Brains, we were declaring that. We were declaring that on Ashonda's channel, on Teo's channel. We were coming together doing some spiritual warfare, because they were coming through real bad on the African continent. Oh, Africa's gonna, all these people are gonna die, and all. Like, we rebuke that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry, I'm in Lidl, so. No, I was just saying, it never had to be. It never was about the majority. It only had to be about a few of us. I mean, we know the story about the 300.
I think you're breaking up. You are breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, now I can hear you.
Yeah, I was just saying, it was never about the majority. It's always going to be about the minority, the few that the Most High uses. I mean, that's the story. We know the story about, what's his name, Gideon and the 300.
Mm-hmm.
Always works with the minority. And the reason for that is because it's his battle. It's about him, not about the majority. The majority can take the praise for themselves, because that's how the rest of the world works.
Absolutely. And now here we are. Look, we're definitely in an interesting season right now, family. Thank you, Sister Chantel, for participating. Oh, no, she had to get rolling. All I can say is hallelujah. That's all I can say. Hallelujah. I'm telling you, understand, we're now seeing the pattern. Shout out to Brother Walt. The pattern, we're seeing this. This pattern is here. And we're not saying these things just to, well, it could be, and no, we're seeing this. They did this to themselves, and all we were saying is, look at what they're going to do to themselves. Look how they're shooting themselves in the foot. Look at all this. Look at all that. And they were thinking that AI was going to save them. And they thought wrong. And now we're going to see the pattern establish. Now they got to go even harder, because it's not just about Ukraine. It's also about that Eastern Mediterranean nation. So now here comes the perfect cover up going on. I'm sorry. I believe that. You can, if you want to come up and debate and argue that I'm wrong, that nothing's going to happen, that they won't try to, do something crazy, crazy. I don't know what to tell you. So yes, family, let's continue to keep each other up, lifted up in our prayers. I know we're going through a lot of things. Yes, Sister Priscilla, we're going to be keeping your husband up in our prayers, because the prayers of the righteous availeth much. We got to lift up one another. These are some hard days. Some folks are going to grow faint and weary in these days. And we have to continue to lift up one another. We have to continue to exalt one another. Because when you get down, and you will be down, then that brother and that sister has to be able to be there to pick one another up. It says the love of many shall wax cold in these days. Of course. But we have to be able to be there to listen to our brothers and sisters and to help our brothers and sisters. This is a day we have to choose. Do you choose life or do you choose death? As for me and my house, I'm going to serve Yahuwah. I'm choosing Yah. I'm not choosing Democrat. I'm not choosing Republican. I'm choosing Yah. That's his name. At least as we know it. Shout out to Brother Yakoba. We'll get the name. We will. But we're in captivity. And to me, I'm just telling you what I think in terms of what these final hours of this captivity is going to look like. Because I'm sorry, I do see that happening, what I just discussed. And when it happens, pack your bags. Your bags should already be packed. Grab your bags. I'm telling you, family, I see this. I see the ground being laid. I'm sorry. I see it. I will try to keep you all up to date on this. If things go on today, I will be back on. If things go on today that's majorly significant, I'll have the link up for our folks to get on in there if they're sharing different things. I'm a one-man show over here. Because you're not just going to deploy those mobile bunkers for nothing. I think Russia knows something is wrong. Something's about to pop off. And now you have the perfect excuse, because everybody and they mama is going to be looking at what's happening in that Eastern Mediterranean nation. And that is a major point of contention, especially here in the United States. And 3 hours does not give justice to even discuss all the things and its potentials. It's just not. But I thank you that you all have endured with me for these 3 hours. I appreciate it. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do so. I've posted my Cash App. It's there scrolling by. I got it in the chat. It's up to you. Give how the Most High puts on your heart. That's all I got to say. I got to get some stuff done in the background, family, because things are moving. So keep me up in prayer. Keep QTUA up in prayer. Keep the community up in prayer. Keep our channels up in prayer. Keep our brothers and sisters up in prayer. This is I'm sorry, but to me, this is me personally speaking. This is the final push. I have to say that. This is the final push. And I had said something about that last week, I think, or Tuesday, I think. It was Tuesday. I said, this is the final push. I'm not a prophet. I'm not. But I can see what's getting ready to go down. So whatever you can to support, we appreciate it. We all do. All of our channels do. You can support by buying the products. Brother Jacoba has done an awesome job with True Jerusalem. Go ahead, purchase that book. I don't have the link. Let me get that link. I want to put that on in here for Amazon. Because shout out to Brother Jacoba. I'm going to promote his stuff because he helped to promote my stuff, my book. So there we go. We all got to support each other. Let me go here. Let me present this. Share screen. And again, if you have things that you are wanting to do. Oh, wow. No, this thing is going to be way too big. I'll see if I can copy this and text it. You may just have to. Yeah, it cut off. Try to copy and paste that on back. I think they get like the little shortened links that you could utilize. I'll have to find that. I'll talk to Jacoba about getting that so I can start promoting that more. Thank you. Yeah, the ratings are very important. Yeah, I would say continue to provide the ratings for our brother. Here's what the image looks like, so you all know what it is that you're buying. Because amazingly, them folks will try to do the same thing and throw some things that's off to oops, my bad. Yeah. So thank you, family, for supporting our brother and Teo Ministries and all of the channels and all the endeavors. We got to support one another. So there you have it. It is on Amazon. This is it. I tried to leave the link there, and I'll see about getting a better link to share. So, family, that's all I got. May the Most High, thank you, Brother Garth. You got a shortened version. Thank you. May the Most High continue to bless you, continue to carry you, continue to guide you and deliver you from the hands of our captors in this awesome time, this time that he has already declared, as we get closer and closer to our end of this captivity in the awesome and mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach. I will definitely be back on Monday over at Q2UA. If something does pop off, I will definitely be back on. I will put that link on in there. Y'all, I'll only give y'all 30 minutes. That's it. And Garth had a better link, I think. There you go. Garth had a better link. There you go. So I have that there. So, family, a lot of what the Most High puts on our hearts is very, very timely. It is very timely. So, with that said, I have to actually get to work. A lot of things going on. Keep us again in prayer. This is it, family. This is it. So, with that said, Most High willing, I'll see you when I see you. So, with that, shalom, salama, siemi, shalom, peace and blessings, Yasharel.